Good morning, Saturday the 16th of May, and it's 10 o'clock. So what am I doing here? It's the secret additional seated options only movement snack. And I'm going to wait to see if anyone's going to join us, and then I'll explain the focus and the rationale for this snack. But maybe I'll be speaking to myself for this one. But that's okay as well. I'm used to that. And if that is the case, it's recorded for catch-ups and use at a later date. So this means I've got potentially 4 minutes to fill the gap. But someone's arrived. Who's arrived? Please tell me who you are. Help me out with this preamble. If you are watching this on catch up, you have the luxury of course, removing this preamble, this bit, and getting straight to the snack. I can see some people lurking. Please tell me who you are. Tell me where you're coming from. At least just say hello. Give me a wave. Give me a sign. Give me something. And I'm crouched in this position because angles are critical for this snack. Hello, Maddie. Thank you, Wendy and Maddie. You've saved me from myself. Hello, Shrewsbury. Thanks for coming in, folks, for this secret additional movement snack. I might keep it secret, might not share it all, might just say, no, whoever's in can have it. Now, of course, we've got to share it. Inika. Hello, Glasgow. How's Glasgow this morning, Inika? So these additional movement snacks that we crowbar in, Carol, they're not a million miles away from what we ordinarily do in the movement snacks that take standing and seated options. Hello, Simone. But what it allows me to do is really focus on seated postures and seated movements, active sitting, and how all those movement minutes count. Now this is our fourth one, of course. So I'm trying not to just duplicate everything, but we all move in the same way. There's only so many movements. So what I'm putting on here is a different slant, a different aspect, perhaps, to more create movement opportunities rather than just say, here's new things. There's nothing new, really. We all move the same-ish. We all move a bit differently too. But our moving parts are all in the same place generally. The key is opportunities to get them moving. So I think I'm going to do a 3, 2, 1. I just need to have a bit of a stand, change my position. Are we ready? Should we do it? So I'm going to take my time. I'll probably talk a little bit slower as well on this one, knowing that I have a special edition audience. Hello, Jane in from Edinburgh. And probably it's going to be more like 15, perhaps a little bit longer minutes. But do switch off at any point when you've had enough. Just switch me off. That's the joy of all this remote stuff. So here we go, 3, 2, 1. It's Bex Townley again for our fourth special edition seated only movement snack options. And the aim of this, as I've just been saying in the preamble, is to provide and offer more thoughts and opportunities and benefits and reinforcing benefits of how active sitting has still benefits in the bag. And there's various opportunities throughout the day to move more, and that means moving more in seated positions. So to offer a different aspect, today's movement snack is going to take place at a table. You don't have to be sat at a table. All this still applies, so you can still be in any chair. But I am going to be working out of a chair that doesn't have arms, but I'll layer in options for that as well. So have a look. All the same themes are going to apply. It's just the positioning, the circumstance, and the opportunities to crowbar in movement stuff, and how that table can support that is really the critical thing. So have a look. We've got Chloe in from Singapore, Germany's in, Kelsey Sprintel's in. Let's go. So folks, for this one, I'm going to be sitting in this chair, and as you can see, it's a hard dining room chair. So I'm going to be changing positions so that I can communicate with you. But as you can see, this movement is already something that's required to get out from a table. But as with all movement snacks, we're going to start with a circulation booster. So my start position and your start position is going to be in your chair, whatever chair you're in. Sit and relax as you normally would. So inactive, everything is switched off. You are as relaxed as you can be in your chair. And we're going to work through active sitting positions into a circulation boost. So here we go. If you have arms on the chair, put them on the arms. If you have no arms like mine here, I can put hands here. Or now I have the table, preferably here, or it could be a bit of both. Have a look, this is key. So now my buttocks are in the apex of the chair, and I'm going to lift away from the back of that chair. That's the first prompt. And already you can see, hopefully, what that's done to my trunk position. From here, we want to move into a better position in the chair. I can use the table for this if I have one, or the arms of the chair. And here's our first critical moving mobility movements. Hands on table, hands on chair, or each, and it's the hip walk. It's the lift and shift. And from this angle, now you can see how I progress forward in the chair to about centre. Now, the beauty of a table is I'm now here, so I can have additional support and prompts with my arms here. Can you see the straight position? We're going to start in our usual circulation boosting movements, starting arms. Now, because the table's here, I'm going to use that option that I keep talking about in the other movement snacks. Lightly link my hands together, and I'm going to guide the elbow back. Can you see I'm just missing the top of the table? So what I have is this little bit of turn, and I can guide the elbow either close to my body or inside the chair arm, here, all on this lifted posture. Now, in this situation, with the hands together, it just helps, certainly if you're in front of the table. So if you've been sat for a while, even if you're working, a little bit of this upright, active sitting with a little bit of rhythmical arm movement is going to generate, it's going to increase the circulation. Moving down to the lower end. Now, can you see my feet? Now for this one, I'm going to take some hip walking and shift to show you. Going to shift, so I've got these little side steps. So now I can show you what we're going to be doing with the feet. So feet slightly forward of the knees. Have a glance down, here's the alternate toe taps. So rhythmical, anything that's rhythmical and keeps moving generally is going to boost the circulation, certainly when my feet are moving. A little bit of toes, controlled, up and down. Now bring the feet back a little bit to do the heels. So now I've got my heels up and down. I'm going to turn slightly to the side so you can see. Here's the heels. Already, can you see in this chair without arms, I have this additional functional movement of being able to lift and shift, use my ankle movements, use that lift and shift and my hips to progress through the chair. Now, I can only do that because this chair doesn't have arms. If I am in a chair with arms, I can do exactly the same thing, but I work front to back instead. And there's so much in this. There's hips There's ankles, there's feet, there's trunk. This is why we spend so much time on the mobility movements and the movement snack, because the application is right here. Could be in and out of a chair, in and out of bed, moving around on the floor. If comfortable, what we can then take is a steady march through feet, ankles and toes. Plus we can bring in that guided arm march that we've just done. And here you can see why we offer this option in the seated snacks. Because it allows a much more directed angle of that elbow close to the body, and can you see how my trunk is also moving a little bit. Okay, so moving on, here's the next trio for our seated movement snack. We're going to work on the front of the thighs, some movements on the front of the thighs that are going to contribute to standing, to getting out of a chair, and to help support the knees in all of those positions. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see. Now for this one, we will hip walk back into the chair. So your buttocks are right in the kind of apex of the chair, and your posture is using the back of the chair but active. So still got this lift, tummy muscles are still active in the centre. Can you see this leg? I'm going to turn this way a little bit. So this one, we slide the leg to extend. I'm going to turn around so you can see. Can you see here? There. And I'm looking to extend the leg and then lower with control. And then bring it back. Lift taller. Make sure that you've kept the length here in the centre. Breathing normally, and then ease the other one as well. So we're exploring, if you like, how the legs extend, how the knees can straighten. These are controlled. No pace, no momentum, and you're working within comfortable ranges of motion for you. Now, of course, when I'm here, I can see what's happening, but this could also work if you know the table is clear underneath and you don't store loads of stuff under your tables. You can take that same movement here while you're sat in the chair. So extending the legs, certainly if you're sat for long periods. And there's something else about this as well. If I get you to put your hand on your thigh here, up tall, in the chair back. As that leg comes to straighten, kind of with your fingers and your hands, have a good old feel around the leg here. Give it a squeeze, and as that leg comes up, can you feel the muscles literally start to harden? They get firmer. Can you feel? Goes without saying, that's the muscle working to straighten that leg. And these are the ones. These are the key muscles that get us out of chairs, that get us up slopes, that keep us on our feet. So this is just getting the knees moving and introducing these muscles here to a little bit of tension, a little bit of work. Okay. Now the next one, we've done the front of the thigh here. So we need to do the back. So muscles come in pairs. You get more for a pair when it comes to muscles. They're a bit like antiques. No comment. So more for a pair. More value if we work the pairing. So the pairing of this one, the opposite is the back. A little bit more tricky to do, to move in seated, but so valuable for our movements out of chair. So have a look at this one. For this one, the lift and shift forwards a little bit. And then we're going to make the most. We're going to take a forward step here, so the foot's slightly forward, and then using the floor as a resistance, if you like, I'm going to slide the foot back to the start position. And then I do the same on the other leg. I'm turning this way so you can see. Step the leg out, little squeeze into the floor, and literally kind of draw it back with a little bit of tension against the floor, and you'll start to feel, again, if you have that support, step out, put your hand now on the back here, and as you draw that back, you'll start to feel the muscle at the back of the thigh start to firm up. And these are how the knees move. And the idea here is that I just kind of raise your awareness of how the knees move. And if you've been sat for long periods of time in this chair-shaped position, have a lift through the sit, be active in the middle, take some of these extensions this way, take it down to the floor, and then you can pull it back. So you can work the pair together, give the pair a little bit more work together. All muscles work in pairs. Yeah. Now, so we've done the front, we've done the back. Generally speaking, we would then do the outer thigh. Now there's an outer thigh movement in one of the other seated snacks. And we've got the front, we've got the back, we've got the side. And then we need to do the front and back of the lower part of the leg. So we're going to look at now, I'm going to do my hip walk, lift and shift, my heels and feet and toes round. Here it is, here it is, here it is to here. Now, heels back and down, this is critical. So all of these movements contribute to easier standing and getting out of a chair, if that's your goal. So for this one, hip walk back into full back rest position again. This is the start position of this movement. Active sit away, so lengthen. By lengthening, I immediately add more activity here in the posture muscles that hold me upright and in the back. Hip walk forward, lift and shift, so the buttocks are just past centre. Here's the critical thing, here's the secret. Heels come back and down, so my heels are a little bit behind the knees. Now I'm going to start to use the muscles that you've just felt with your own hands, plus the muscles that you're sat on, these buttocks. Now from here, keep the lift position. Think about your heels and imagine you have, I don't know, grapes, something squashy, something you want to crush under your heels. What do you want to crush? You want to crush it and squeeze it. Just this. Trying to think. Give me some ideas. I don't know what. Something that you want to press down through your heels, like you're crushing grapes. I don't know. There, and that's the sense. So can you see that just by crushing that grape under my heels and squeezing my buttocks and having this straight position, I start to shift. I start to go upwards and forwards. This is how we stand up. And can you feel these as well? Take a pause, and these little movements can be quite tiring. So just have a go every now and then. When you're sat, sit tall, have a little go. And as you can see, over time, we start to build that. Just before we continue, just have a little bit of circ boost here through the feet. Take some extensions again, lengthen. Take every opportunity throughout the day to lengthen and extend the knees. There we go, a little bit of that. I'm going to go back round to my table position. Here's the next set. Now we did the heel squeeze, the grape crusher, and the buttock squeezer. And you can automatically see that my whole trunk is starting to hinge as I do that. And that forward angle of the trunk is critical to get me up. So here's another critical pairing. I hope you're writing all this down. There's a short test at the end. The critical pairing is heels back and down and this hinge, and together with a bit of oomph from the buttocks and the legs, we get the movement. It's like magic. So this is a hip hinge, and using the table, that can offer us some support. And if we bring in a functional lift, so the arm can help direct where I want to go. Now I'm showing you this over the table, but if you have a chair without arms, what we can then do is use the side-on approach. heels back and down. I've got the whole of my forearm on the table here, my other hand here on the thigh. I crush my grapes, and then I can come to here, and I can actually start now to press down as well to help with that. Now, generally speaking, if we want to strengthen the legs, we would say let's try without. That still applies. Depends where you are in your sit to stand journey. Depends where you are in your up and go. But there's certainly value in all of these things working together. And just by having one hand here on the table, just lightly, but using the focus from legs, they'll get stronger over time. Okay, take a pause. Now have a little bit of this. So we've done lots of hinging. I want to show you this hip hinge again. If I relax my posture, this happens. I slump. I squash in the middle, and can you see the back arches? And resting and slumping is important. Having a rest and recovery is important. But if I'm preparing to move, and if I'm preparing to stand up, this inactive position isn't going to help us. So we lengthen. We talk a lot about this in all the other snacks. The back is straight, and this action here is what we call a hip hinge. And this is why the buttocks play such an important part, because as I hinge, squeeze my buttocks bring me back. So try some buttock squeezes with some hip hinges and see how they work to bring you back. Okay, and a slump. Last movement of this snack is this upper back squeeze here. Now in the other movement snacks, we've done this one with a tea towel. The starting movement is still valid without. We're just looking for opportunities to move, and you might not have a tea towel to hand. But we do want to get the upper back stronger to help strengthen and improve movement around shoulders for posture, reach, grab, functional reach. So let's try an upper back squeeze. Active postures everywhere. Give your buttocks an extra squeeze. Now when you do give your buttocks an extra squeeze, you might want to take your pelvic floor with you on that one. Our professional friend Cherry Baker posted a video of hers around pelvic floor exercises, so have a look at that a couple of days ago. Needless to say, when we take that lifted buttock squeeze, give the pelvic floor, the kind of pelvic floor hammock area, a squeeze as well. Palms up, about belly button height, elbows in. Now just take it's our chest stretch position if you think about it, but give the elbows an extra squeeze together and the shoulder blades an extra squeeze together, and then release and recover fully into your slump. This is so you can start to feel the whole journey through upright active sitting is the first bit. Then how we add on movements and squeeze, release, come back and come out again. So when we start to move more or add more effort, recovery becomes even more important. So see how that feels for you. Great one to do if you've been sat at the desk for a long time. Just before we go, let's just recap on the jockey lift, and maybe you want to crowbar some of these in. So with me, last set run through, have a think of the prompts. If you know what's coming, go without me. This is all about toolbox for you. So you don't need us, you don't need me. All these prompts are locked in. So go through it, visually look at me, it might help. Here's the lift and shift. That's the first secret. The second secret is heels back and down, back, and now let's start to build the jockey lift. Build the jockey lift. Bring in the functional reach. Da-da. Oh, you may decide to do it sideways. Here, here, slow, slow, slow. And then after a few of those jockey lifts, give your legs some length. Give your legs some length. On the subject of that, just take the long leg out this time, leave it there, lift up, and then ease forward. Just take a bit of a stretch on the back of those thighs. We do a full body stretch at 4 p.m, that'll be Dave today. But just to remind, if you've crowbarred in a few of these jockey lifts, this little bit of flexibility afterwards can help. I'm using the table, I'm using the hands. Here's that hip hinge position again. These can all be performed under the table, look, there. You can't see it, but I'm doing a back of thigh stretch, and I've got loads of support coming from the table. So if you are sat at your desk for a long time, the movement we haven't done today is upward side. That can be really supportive with the table here. We can lean this way, we can lean this way, and with this support structure around me, tables, chairs, arms of chairs, active sitting is still so many benefits in the bag. Every opportunity, if you can, take a stand up, just standing, breaking up these long periods of being sat. If that's not an option for any reason, it just might be circumstance or time, the value in active sitting is as pertinent and relevant. All right, I did say it'd be kind of 15-ish, it's more like 20 and a bit. Hope that was helpful. And just to reinforce, these movement snacks are about opportunities and movements. They're not about structured exercise. There's loads of structured exercise going on out there. Our passion in this mission is to bring movements, give movement a whole new perspective and aspect, and that every movement counts. It's not just about structured exercise. It's about optimizing the time and the movements that we have. So let us know how that went for you. Tell us. We love to read it. It's why we're here. We're learning from you. We're learning from your comments. And we just love having you. So much so that Kelsey will be with you at 12 o'clock for our regular lunchtime movement snack. And Dave will be with you for the 4 p.m. sway and stretch. Thank you everyone for joining this special edition secret movement snack that I suppose we better let everyone else have. But you're my special secret audience. All right, thank you folks.